champion Michelle Johnstone from Regina, Saskatchewan against Bonnie Olsen, one of the 8 newcomers to this year's Pins game from Peace River, Alberta. And it is the defending champion to get us going.
Try to set the pace early with one good shot. A little off the mark on that one. Get those first couple of frames out of the way, let the nerves kind of settle in a little bit.
Yeah, I would think despite being a returning champion, you still have to overcome what you're not familiar with. It may be a bowling center, it may be a lane and everything that goes with that, but the lights, the cameras, that's always something to adjust to.
Especially so, and I think it's equally difficult to come back and be the champion. You know you want to try to defend your championship, but you got to play this game one frame at a time. And now Bonnie has a chance to throw one good shot. Pick up that first frame. No, she's left a difficult spare now by just punching out that right 3-pin. See if she can line this up. Focus in on the spot. Lift and off balance, but she covers
very
it.
Nice. The 18-year-old.
Finish on the end of this, just a little off balance. Manages to stay over on the left side, though, and cover all the pins for the spare and the carry.
So we're carrying over. Playing for $100 now. Oh, she got maybe a bit of a break there.
Touch of a break on that one. The head pin, though, the difficult conversion, of course, nearly impossible. She punches out the head pin and comes back and gets the kickback for the deuce. And she's going to need to cover off the left side. If she gets the cover on the left side, she's going to have that right 3-pin respotted, though. It's not a spare. She has to cover off the right 3-pin yet. So you got up there just a little bit quick, and we should have waited for those pins to be set up with just the right 3-pin standing. Her
nice cover. Nice arm extension. You find that the young bowlers today, with the help of their coaching, the YBC and all those programs, mechanically are better?
Very much so. They get strong fundamental teaching. A good strike there now to pick up the carryovers.
Our defending champion, Michelle Johnstone, picks up the first 2 frames and $100 as she battles Peace River, Alberta's Bonnie Olsen. $50 a frame at stake here in these preliminaries. Back-to-back strikes now for Michelle Johnstone.
Nicely delivered shot there, down low into the foul line, stretches through it, gets her second consecutive strike. Bonnie has to cover this off, try to stay in the match. Don't want to let Michelle get away too far on her, but one more frame goes over to Michelle now.
And that's, I think, sometimes the most difficult thing, as in this particular competition, isn't it, Greg, that you have to look at it frame by frame. Sure, she gave up the 2 frames to Michelle, but now she has to refocus and bear down. You can't look at it as a series of games.
Exactly so, and we've had a lot of competitors over the years have said how quickly it happens. You just started the match and you look up and you're in the 6th frame and you're down 4-2 or something like that. You really have to pay attention to the particular frame you're playing. When you're leading off, try to put it just like that.
That's better. So she picks up her first strike in the 4th, and now the pressure is on Michelle. She'll have to match the strike to force a carryover. She She's up by 3 frames and $150.
Nice shot here, gets it out over the center row, tracks to the left side, carries them all. Michelle responds back with another strike to carry another frame.
And a great game going. Michelle Johnstone, our defending champion, won $5,800 a year ago.
She has changed her technique a little bit that she's been working on since last year, trying to get down low. It's paying off very well right now. Just that one ball miss of the middle on the first frame for her, then she runs off 4 in a row.
And this is what's terrific about the pins game, is the handing back of the challenge. Now it's up to Bonnie. You got one in you? You betcha. This is terrific stuff we've got in this opening game of women's 5-pin play. Michelle Johnstone and Bonnie Olsen.
Bonnie looked very good on that shot. Very comfortable. Nice, solid finish at the end. Good extension with the arm. Let's see if she can repeat it once more. Looking to set the standard with a strike. This one's out there a little bit far to the right.
Did you see anything in what she did there? Did she
just looked like she fell off balance just a tad to the right at the end. Maybe tried for it a little too hard. There's that fine line. If you cross over it, all of a sudden you start to push shots, not let them go. Just a better ball.
That was a strike ball, and she only had that with her first one. But this opens the door for Michelle Johnstone now. If she can strike here in 6, she'll pick up the frames. She got it?
No, just a little thin on that first ball. Leaves the left corner. Now needs to make the spare, or the match is going to be tied up. 3 frames apiece. Got to cover this. She does. Carry it once more.
Here we go. So what's at stake is $150. We've got that carried over. We're playing for an even 200 now in 7. And for Michelle Johnstone, that would be enough to put her over the top. So Bonnie Olsen needs the money, or at least force a carryover to stay alive.
A little full, but carries them all.
How did she get away with that?
Good work and stuff on the ball. Got down and released it low to the lane and really came through the shot on the follow-through. Hit a tad full on the middle, but she gets to sit now with a strike. Only one thing for Bonnie to do.
And that is strike here. She has to match her to stay in the game. Head pin, and that's it. And so the defending champion, Michelle Johnstone, will take her first step to possibly winning a second straight title. She picks up the 4 frames, and she will advance to the quarters.
Unfortunate one there for Bonnie. Just delivering that head pin at a very inopportune time. But still 3 frames remaining after she finishes off her turn in the 7th here. 12 her final count. See if she can keep her balance up there. Get the good extension through. Nicely done there. A little wide. Chop off. Good looking shot. Just moved off just a little bit.
Bonnie's dad, Ken, has joined us from Peace River area of Alberta, on the northwest corner of the province.
Bonnie had a little misstep on that one at the end. You could see that her balance was just a fraction off. Had to recover by stepping out with the right foot. And 12 the count for her turning the 8th. And Michelle now bowling very well. 223 through 6 frames. A strike working in the 7th. Needs only to better 12 here. And to pick up another frame.
And as you see, she's won all the money so far. And that will put her through.
Only her second miss of the game. Just missed to the left side in the first frame, and now off to the right here in the 8th. It's down low, gets this one through, but cranks it across.
This is also an interesting time for somebody like Michelle, because she knows she's through and trying to keep her head into it, you know, staying focused. And I'm sure that's what her dad Richard is suggesting.
It is. You know you've accomplished the first step of what you had to do. There's 15 points though for the frame. You know you've accomplished the first step, and that's a big relief right off the top of it. Then you're given opportunities where you don't necessarily have to be as sharp as she was in 2, 3, 4, and 5. And she comes up just a little short. Now though, back on with the strike as she leads off 9.
Still $100 to play for it. $50 a frame and 9 and 10. And now it's up to Bonnie to match the strike. Got it.
Oh, tough break on that one. Ball just slid by the left side. Michelle picks up her 9th frame now. Possibly on her way to a sweep.
Bonnie has played at junior and senior levels in the YBC programs. It's a great thing, really, the YBC is, you know, as Bonnie says, what she's really enjoyed most about bowling is traveling, getting to see the country, as she can't hang it on the edge.
It is, and these all of the competitors out here, they've faced each other's in various tournaments across the country at different times. They truly enjoy the friendships that they've made and the competition as they get together on the lanes. Should get a break here? No. Stubborn left corner again. Count in the 10th frame is the big factor here now. If she can spare this and then throw a strike behind it, she'll have 30 points there and force Michelle into throwing a double to win that final frame from her. There's the spare. Okay, come on, Bonnie. Get this last frame.
Get the last 50.
Good look at the target. Good delivery up through it, and a good result this time.
We'll pick up the strike. Now it's interesting as she bowls at 221, Bonnie Olsen. I forgot about Michelle, actually, and the way she bowls, the way she turns her hand over and then lets it go. As she picks up the first strike, she'll need one more to pick up the final $50 and shut out Bonnie. But for her to get her hand back to the proper position each time,
it's a lot of timing involved. She got the second one. No, nearly. Gets a kickback. Now she can cover the spare and split that final frame if she can pick up this 3-pin. Got a great game going here. 42 count on that one brings it up to 300 through 9, and the spare.
To split the final frame, each bowler taking $25, but what a game by Michelle Johnstone. We had said that her average of a year ago, 246, was a little low. Well, she responds and says, "Take that, Greg Cook." And she bowls a 330. And so our defending champion wins $475. Bonnie Olsen will take home 25, and Michelle Johnstone is through to the quarters in women's 5-pin here at the Bolorama Rexdale. Donna Watson from Winnipeg, Manitoba has been here before. She's making her second appearance. Barbara McLachlan, last year's runner-up from Val-Caron, Ontario, part of the greater Sudbury area. And it'll be Donna to lead us off here in this second preliminary. The winner to move on and play the defending champion Michelle Johnstone, who bowled a 330. Advancing. Oh, tough start.
Hello, aces right off the gun. Not a bad looking shot. Perhaps a little thin on the middle, but she's going to be facing trying to cover those remaining corner pins off. Trying to post a 15 score here and then let Barbara have her turn at it.
Playing for $50 a frame in these preliminaries. Then it moves up to 100, 200, 300. And that winner's bonus, of course, $1,500.
3 good shots. Got the first one on the side, then picked up both corners. Got to be feeling okay with that. Just a tough break on the first one. And now Barbara gets her chance to pick up the first frame with a good shot here. Now she goes and throws quite a bit harder than Donna does. Good stretch up through this one and covers it.
Great kick off the side as well to get the strike. And so she'll pick up the first frame of $50.
Very smooth shot. Gets down low to the lane. Rolls the ball out. Covers over to the left side of the head pin and uses the kickback to take out that right corner. A little bounce on this one at the bottom though. Drops this one just as she gets down, and you can see it right there. She knows that this ball wasn't put out where she wanted it to go.
Almost silent, that release, as she picks up the spare.
Smoother shot on that one. The first one she just dropped a little bit. Manages to cover the spare though. And now Donna with an opportunity to try to throw that first good ball again and get a little bit of break than she got last time. Just a tough one. Leaving something unsparable in that first.
Been a couple of years since we've seen Donna. Back in the 99-2000 season, she made it to the quarterfinals, winning $750 in total. And now she has this to force a carryover.
First one took off on her a little bit, so she makes a little adjustment here. Is looking better on this one. Yes, the spare.
Nice shot by Donna Watson, so we'll carry over. And the third frame will be worth $100.
Puts a better adjustment on this one, gets it over onto the left side of the head pin, and gets the desired result with the spare and the carry. She watched that one track in all the way down. That's the way you want to lead off in this format. Get that strike posted on the board. Force your opponent into standing there knowing all they can do is match up.
And that's what Barbara McLachlan needs to do, is match the strike, and she does.
She'll be happy with that result. Stuck a little bit on the approach at the end of that delivery. Got the timing good on it though, and the ball went out on the lane. Just watch, she just sticks a little bit here. But the ball's gone. She let it go at the right time. Got the good result at the end. Little drop on this one again.
$150 at stake now in this fourth.
So 2 misses in a row on this lane, both of them to the right side.
Now how would she adjust?
To watch her spot maybe a little more closely on it, make sure that she gets down and stretches through like that.
To pick up the spare, but chance now for Donna Watson to pick up the 3 frames and the $150. Altogether different style. I mean, physically different as these two women are, but she stays very low.
She does, and she's got a good anchored follow through as she sits down there and just, she almost crouches at the end, keeps her balance, lets the arm rotate up, and then stays in that position. It's almost like coming out of the hack in curling sort of thing. She stays down low and watches it go all the way down the lane. Here comes.
Oh boy, she slid it across to get the spare, and no, she may have gotten away with one there, so we're carrying over again here.
I think so. This one hasn't quite got it where exactly she wants. She's leaning towards the left a little and watching that ball track over to the right side, but manages to snag the spare.
$200 at stake now.
Another miss to the right now. This is the position that you wanted to throw the strike when you're leading off. Now, make this spare. Hope you can come back.
Another one she does. Wow.
Good break on that.
Yeah, nice bowling though by both Donna Watson and Barbara McLachlan, but Barbara can pick him up now.
Well, with the exception of the first frame, both women have had marks in every frame. So just the aces for Donna on that first attempt. Barbara now, she's stuck a couple of times in this lane. A little slower approach. Oh, drills the head pin, probably the only thing that could have really hurt her, but she does get a break for a kickback on the left deuce. So it is an easier spare, it's by no means easy.
And she needs the spare to force the carryover, or Donna will pick up the 4 frames and the $200 that goes with it. Nope, won't come back. And so Donna Watson picks up the 4 frames, $200. And just like that, it can turn around.
Big win on that one. 15 the final count for Barbara. And now really needs to step up to the plate here. Get a strike out there.
In her 3rd appearance at the Pins game, she's won $3,650 in her 2 previous appearances, and that's terrific stuff there to be able to shake off the head pin. Know you've just given up 4 frames. It really puts you in a hole, and now she comes back and throws a strike. Now pressure on Donna Watson. And meets it.
Great response. Quite a contrast in the 2 balls as they hit the pins, that's for sure, between Barbara and Donna. This one, she fits it over on the left side. Gets the good pin action, though, all 5 pins back in the pit.
But we're in the situation now, if Donna Watson can win these 2 frames for playing for the $100, she would advance, knocking off last year's runner-up.
Barbara just checking out the scoreboard a little bit, sees that she has an opportunity here. Best that Donna can do right now is make this spare when she leads off at 7, and that's what she does.
So Barbara McLachlan, the grade 5 teacher at Princess Anne Public School in Valcarral, has a chance here to win a couple of frames. Wanted to say thanks to David Farrell, who is the principal at Princess Anne. Very understanding. And she'll pick up the strike. And she'll win the 2 frames. That was a big strike for Barbara McLachlan. She gets herself right back into it here.
This is the one that she needs to set up now. Gets a well-delivered shot here. Ball gets out, stays on the side of the head pin. Has to repeat that once more. She's dropped this one down to the right again. 3rd time now. All of those misses have come on this lane, and they've all been to the right side. So whether it's a little bit of a problem with sticking on the approach, perhaps, a little too much slide, something with her timing is causing these errors. She can't repeat it now, needs the spare.
And she has it, playing for $50 here in the 8th. Only $50 separating the 2. Donna Watson with the lead. But a strike will give Watson the money. She works for the Investors Group Securities, their customer transfer department, and we can transfer another $50 to her account. And Donna's mother, Mary Klamochko, is here. We welcome her from Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Donna's just got to pick up one of these frames, or even just split the 10th to move on. Oh my, a second set of aces now. Her first back in the first frame, and now she gets this ball nearly exactly where she wanted it. Moves just a fraction at the end. Almost gets the left corner to fall over. Has to pick up the two sides, and a big opportunity now for Barbara McLachlan.
Remember, if it's tied in money, we'll use pin count to determine who moves on.
And the advantage in the pinfall now is going to move over to Barbara McLachlan's side of the score sheet. 13, the final count for Donna, bringing her up to 224. Barbara McLachlan, though, must win the last two frames. And if she should do that, she needs to get the pinfall advantage, which she has an opportunity to do right now with a strike.
And this has been her favorite of the two lanes.
Chop-off gives her a 25 count back there, so that's a 6-pin lead through 8 frames. She's got to better the 13 that Donna has posted in the 9th now in order to pick up this frame. She takes a look at the scoreboard. It's a lot of experience. She didn't just rush up and throw this shot.
Oh, just caught enough to slide it over, and she'll pick up the spare. She gets the frame and 50.
She checked out the scoreboard. She knew that she just needs to cover this off. She would have 2 attempts at it. Pinfalls on her side and an opportunity to make it grow larger now. She leads off 10.
And she's on her less than favorite lane.
She gets it there this time, though, for the first one. Whatever she does here, if Donna Watson can match, Donna is going to move on. Because Donna, if she can split this last frame, will have 5.5. So Barbara needs to win this last frame outright. The pinfall, should she strike out, is hers. Enough on the pinfall. She's got the double working.
And she made the adjustment. Whatever she had to do on this lane, Greg, she's found the answer.
This is the monster shot of the two. The first one was important, but this one now forces Donna Watson into throwing a double. And Barbara, as I said, a very experienced competitor, Master Bowlers Association national champion in the singles division. And you notice that she isn't rushing up here to get the ball. She knows that if she throws another strike here, she's a veteran of this competition. She can force Donna now into having to match up exactly what she does. And if she can throw this last one like she does.
Terrific stuff by Barbara McLachlan as she strikes out. And so now Donna Watson knows exactly what she has to do.
She has to strike out, or they're going to end up 5 frames. Barbara McLachlan will have the advantage in pinfall with 292, and it's not going to happen.
There it is. And so the final frame, the final $50 will go to Barbara McLachlan. They will split the money, but it will be Barbara advancing on pin count.
And she just can't quite believe that she came from that far off the pace, being down 4-1 through 5 frames. Comes back and wins the carryover in 7. Loses another frame to Donna in 8, and then picks up 9 and 10 in drawn fashion by striking out in the 10th for 292.
Last year's runner-up is now headed towards a quarterfinal showdown with last year's champion. Barbara McLachlan wins on pin count, bowling at 292. She'll face Michelle Johnstone. When we come back, this is the Pins Game. And hello again to David Farrell, who's an outstanding principal, she says. And Barbara McLachlan, now they're going to face each other in this year's quarterfinals. And it'll be Michelle Johnstone to start after bowling a 330, winning $475 in a win over Bonnie Olsen. McLachlan 292. She won 250, winning on pin count over Donna Watson.
Tough start for Michelle with the head pin. Cover these off. Barbara made a fantastic recovery in that last game to get here, and now both bowlers throwing very solid. Good cover on the left side. Try to get to 15 when you get a head pin up there and you're leading off. Force your opponent to make a mark.
These two meeting in the quarters raises the question of why. How do they, last year's finalists, end up playing here so early?
Well, we end up, Michelle, of course, comes back as a defending champion, seeded number 1. And then in the provincial roll-offs that the competitors go throughout their various provinces and stuff, whatever they establish as their score for their 10-game qualifying determines what ranking we will establish for them in the seeding position that they get at that particular level. And when we had Barbara come through out of Northern Ontario, she averaged 261, which was good enough for 9th spot in our seeding system here, defending champion number 1. There's the half.
And she'll pick up the first frame and the first $100 as we've added $50 to each frame, playing for $100 per frame now. Remember, this lane she figured out in her preliminary and actually rolled 3 strikes in the 10th to win through pin count.
She figured out at the right time too. This one she might have just pulled it across a little bit. Her other misses in the other game on this lane were on the right side. This one she comes up, pulls across, and now's the miss on the right side here. And it's going to be an open frame as she leads off the second and throwing the opportunity back to Michelle very shortly. But it's good to watch her. She takes her time. She doesn't just rush up there and get rid of a shot just because the frame's over or anything else like that. Not going to be happy with the 10 count.
Not after she spared in the first to win the frame. And I would think these two bowlers, I mean, as you say, they've probably played each other somewhere down the bowling road, as it were. A lot of respect for each other. As she picks up the strike, Michelle Johnstone will get the second frame. You don't want to provide openings as Barbara did just then for Michelle.
Exactly, not with a 10 count. And Michelle just jumps on the chance, hammers in a strike, threw that one quite forcefully. Looked like she was maybe just a little out of her normal rhythm, but really drilled it home and has done again here.
At least make your opponent work for it.
Exactly. You've got to, when you're leading off, obviously, just as Michelle did, the strike is undoubtedly the best thing to post up there because there's nothing your opponent can do except strike to carry the frame over. You can't lose a frame on that. But it's when the misfortunes show up, the head pins, things like that. Try to get all the pins you can when you're leading off.
That's it. That's what Barbara needed to rebound from her 10. She throws the strike here in 3, means we're carrying over, and we'll play for $200 in the 4th.
She smashes these ones up real good. All 5 pins disappear. Now she sets herself once more. She's leading off here. This is a good ball. Gets that one over on the left side of the head pin for the strike again.
Because she's usually on the right-hand side, is she not?
That's where she struggled, has been struggling on that lane, is missing to the right. So it looks like she's just making a little adjustment to try to get it over to the left.
Oh, yes, there it goes. Wow. There's an eye-opener for Michelle Johnstone.
Big string pull here, and it took its time. It was a nice ball. Goes in, it's a fraction high on the middle, but gets a good rip, and finally it falls. Watches it go. 3rd strike in a row. And now a little too thick on this one.
And that hurts because we're playing for $300 here in this 5th.
And Barbara checks out the scoreboard and sees a big opportunity. There's a miscue.
When it comes to 5-pin, I mean, I'm thinking from 10-pinners, they'll try to, on spare shots like that, they'll try to put the 10-pin ball in between the 2 pins. Here, the bowlers seem to play to the outside and kick the pins across.
Yeah, it's a very, very fine line in either game on those large splits that are so widespread. It's just a fraction of an inch down at the other end, trying to get that pin spin across.
Big chance now for Barbara McLachlan. Yeah, boy, she takes full advantage of it, doesn't she, as she throws the strike, wins the 3 frames, and $300.
Great shot on that one for her 3rd strike in a row now. Watch her set here. Takes her time. And delivers.
And keeps the pressure on Michelle Johnstone, who now has to respond with a strike. Another $100 at stake here in 6.
And Michelle looked a little fast on her last attempt. Let's see if she can just get it under control again. Good stretch through it. Good ball.
Yes. All right, we're playing for $200 now in 7, and the game is on the line.
Good shot into this one. Stays into the left side. Doesn't track up onto the middle. Now is the time to put the pressure on. She can get this first ball in here. And, oh man. Great shot.
Yep.
Just ripped on the right corner.
Now looks for the spare. Michelle Johnstone, knowing that Barbara McLachlan, with the 2 frames at stake, can advance. If she got the spare, she does. So it still provides a chance for Barbara McLachlan, last year's runner-up, to advance, become our first semifinalist, if she can win the 2 frames and the $200 available here in 7.
And she's got the opportunity she wants in that. Just throw one good ball here, and she moves on. Oh, what a break.
Goodness gracious.
What a break. Punches the head pin out, manages to come back, kick off the right 3-2, and leave her an opportunity to spare this and continue the carryover. She knows this isn't the greatest ball. It goes through. She's disappointed with it, and all of a sudden, bang. She's still alive.
But she needs this now. She needs the spare here, or the 2 frames will go to Michelle Johnstone. She got the spare. She does.
So that's the big thing. There's times that you get breaks, but taking advantage of it is quite different a lot of times. And just watch this lady work. She stands here. She takes her time when she lines up. She doesn't rush into shots. She doesn't go until she's ready.
The same situation is in play here. Barbara can advance. This time she gets 1.
Well, she got the break last time. This time only a 2-pin on the left side coming off with it. She does place it on the middle again, so she's drilled it on the nose twice now for head pins. Tries to help this one coax its way back. She'll probably try to settle for the 15 here. There's the 3-2 on the right gone. And get this last 3-pin off to get the 15 count. And then she's going to have to sit back and see what Michelle will do when she takes her chance in the bottom of the 8th frame.
And after rolling 4 strikes and a spare, this will hurt her pin count, as well as it brings her back to a 224 count through 8.
Very much so. And Michelle now, if she can throw a strike here and another one in 9, can get all that pinfall back.
Now we're playing for 3 frames here and $300 that's at stake. If Michelle can strike her spare here, we'll be all even. Now she needs the spare, or at least a count here of 12 to force another carryover.
Really needs the spare, though. Keep the pinfall going.
She got her spare.
No, she gets tapped on the left corner, but she is going to pick up the frames.
Whoa.
She's got a 13 count right now.
So she'll get the $300, means we're all even. She gets her 15 count.
That brings her up to 190 through the 8th frame as compared to Barbara McLachlan's 224. Neither bowler on a mark at the present time, but Michelle with an opportunity to lead off in the ninth, see if she can put a little pressure on to Barbara.
And remember, money, if we're tied after 10, there's a big strike for Michelle. We'll use the pin count, and that pin count right now is in favor of Barbara McLachlan.
This is a good shot in, crosses over to the right side, gets great pin action, covers them all.
She actually seemed to bounce it a little bit, too.
Just kind of, I think she wanted to stay aggressive on that shot, so rather than lay it down, go right through it. Barbara needs to do the same thing here. Stay aggressive.
Got a strike? She does. So here we go. Game is on the line. Final frame is worth the $200 left. If we split it, we'll use pin count to see who becomes our first semifinalist. It's defending champion Johnstone, last year's runner-up McLachlan.
Oh my, not now, she's thinking. That's a head pin that she really had in 7 that turned into a chop-off. Then a head pin in 8, a strike in 9, and now the head pin in 10. And all she's got to do is go up there and cover these pins off, and she's going to have to sit down and see what happens if Michelle Johnstone would fall into the same misfortune. She's got the pinfall on her side.
And
Barbara
Michelle
does.
has. She's had a couple of head pins of her own. One in the first and then one in the 5th.
So she has going to have to beat 15 in all likelihood. I'm giving this pin to Barbara on this shot, which would give her a 266 game. There it is. Good game, very untimely finish with head pins in 8 and 10.
For the final money and to advance. Our defending champion, has she got it?
There's the shot that does it.
She'll pick up the final money and takes a deep sigh of relief.
Again, very aggressive with the shot, delivers it nicely. Well, the ball tracks over to the right-hand side of the head pin. Wasn't tentative with either of those shots and was rewarded with strikes. See if she can finish off with one more. Rich looking on there.
Yeah. Watching the scoreboard just as closely as his daughter.
And 43 the final count, 278.
But more importantly is the money. She picks up the final 2 frames. Terrific comeback. Unfortunate for Barbara McLachlan. She had 2 head pins in the last 3 frames. Michelle Johnstone, our defending champion, picks up $600 and she takes the first big step. She becomes our first semifinalist in women's 5-pin